The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today. Are you a band, artist, or event coordinator and tired of being a victim to the algorithm? Do your show announcements get lost with fans missing out on your gigs? Well, say goodbye to that hassle, because the StrugglingArtistPodcast.com has just launched a brand new, super easy event submission form. You just fill out the event or band name, the show details, and then you hit submit, and that's it. Your event instantly appears on the beautiful new interactive calendar, keeping your fans in the know. It's the simplest way to get your show or your event in front of the right people. No more missed gigs, no more missing a show due to an algorithm. Submit your next show or event in just 30 seconds. Go to the StrugglingArtistPodcast.com and click on Event Submission now.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Chris and Daniel of Duck and Cover have returned to the podcast to talk about their latest self-titled EP. This is such an awesome conversation. I love when these guys come on. They make me laugh a lot. Stick around to the end of the episode to hear a song off of their brand new EP. This is episode 366 of the Struggling Artist Podcast, struggling with the return of Duck and Cover. How we doing, fellas? It's been a minute. It's been a year?
It's been almost, I don't know if it's like to the day, but yeah, this is becoming like a summer tradition. Let's do this.
I know. Summer. Yeah, because it's the third time you guys have been on, and
yeah, there was a pretty big gap between appearance 1 and appearance 2, but yeah, it was this time, give or take, last year that we were talking about the split single with the Downhauls, and now we're here to talk more about ourselves because can't get enough about talking about me.
That's awesome. How did the show go? I couldn't make it because of work. But,
which show?
The Trash Fest one. That was the one I was really looking forward to, and I couldn't make it.
That was good. Like the real. I don't mean to steamroll Daniel. I'll stop talking about this. For me, the real big takeaway from that show wasn't either us or the Downhauls. We played with this band. Are you familiar with? Well, of course you're familiar with. So like Showcase Showdown.
Oh yeah. Gossip Collar was on the bill. So, yeah.
Actually, I'll let Daniel take over here. So like two of the folks from the Spits have this new band. Not now, I guess new, but they played. They were the headliners for the Trash Fest show. And Daniel,
they were great.
They're called Gossip Collar, and they were the hit of the night as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Downhauls played great. I think we played fine. Like it was super fun. But Gossip Collar was woo.
I know. I've been trying to see them. They've been on the show too. So.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. They're
really unique.
I used their album in the Record Club back in October, just because it's so unique. Like
yeah.
It's
like, is it goth? Is it punk? Is it is it Susie and the Banshees-ish? Is it, is it Spaceman 3. Like, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they're
It's also-
great.
I mean, what's interesting to me is that, there are people that I know from the Boston scene for years and years and years and years, and so you sort of walk in thinking, oh, it's punk rockers. They're going to play punk rock, and then they have evolved, right? And what they're trying to do is really different from the Spits. It's really different from everything that I've seen them do, and yet it's great. So I don't know. It's like, for me, there's this like, it's like we're all getting older. We're all doing things, and I like to see music evolve as people mature and get interesting and whatever.
And that's why Daniel is super frustrated with Duck and Cover.
I don't think so. I think I think if you compare, where we were 8 years ago to where we are today, I think we've evolved.
I think so. So the funny thing is, Chris, when you sent me the new EP, I was like, oh yeah, let me go back and just revisit everything. You know what I mean? And like, it's awesome stuff. And you guys evolve, but you have a sound. You have your sound too. So I like that.
Thank you.
One other thing I was thinking about, like, what makes me think about just like just solidifying, like, people having their place in the Boston music community, right? And like, I think when I think of bands of old and new, Duck and Cover always comes up to me. You're a band that's like, and you put stuff out. I mean, it looks like it's on a yearly cycle, right? At least.
I mean, that's the goal. Like, I think this past year cycle is the only time that we've actually hit it. It usually ends up being more like 18 months, 2 years.
Still. So I thought the three singles that you
really gratifying in terms of what you're talking about, the time frame. Like,
yeah.
I get antsy and bored, and this actually kind of came together much quicker than it typically does, and it was really gratifying.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, because like, wasn't the three singles? Wasn't that 2020? Oh, that might have been 2022, right?
Yeah,
no, but
I think you're right.
It's like, and I think there's a cycle that is really different in this era, right? Where like, you're not banking 11, 12 songs and kind of working on a full length thing. You're like, you basically go into the studio when you have 3 or 4 or 5 songs, bang them out, release them digitally, and then move on to the next. And that's been our cycle for really as long as this band has been a thing. It's like, you look at all of our releases and they're all 3 to 7 songs, basically.
Yeah. That is one thing I noticed. Yeah, and I like that. With that, like, you can release stuff with you guys when you release music. So like, we'll take the 3 singles you did a few years back, right? Like, you could have put those together, but they also stand alone on their own, right? So I think there's a talent to songwriting when it comes to that, and I think that's just the way the people like consume music now,
Definitely. And make music too, for what it's worth. It's like each session that we do has a really unique kind of character to it. That's a function of like, where are our heads at the time, who are we working with, what are we doing, and I feel like this last recording that we did, to me, is like a really honest snapshot of like, who Duck and Cover is in this moment, which I'm super psyched about.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. And how long have these songs been around? Like, just like in we'll say your sets or your practice. Like,
I mean, really not long. All 5. Like, the oldest one is from January of 2024.
Okay. Yeah.
I broke my leg and my ankle, and I was like down at Daniel's place because he has a first floor bedroom and I don't. And I was there for a very long time. He's very nice, and I wrote the foundation of 2 of the songs that are on the EP, Bad Blood and Mephistopheles, and everything else is kind of subsequent from that. And so, like, again, that's super fast for us.
I feel like you had Hounds in the Cluster as a riff, like as a thing that you have been playing for like 25 years.
Well, that one's definitely going back a while. But I mean, in terms of like a full song, it didn't get realized until maybe like this time last year.
Right. Yeah, totally. But it was like, oh, we found a home for it. We found a frame for it that I thought sort of worked really well.
Yeah, I agree.
When you write songs like these, and they say that like they've been around for a year or whatever, like, are you quick to get them out there on a live set so people can start hearing them, or do you kind of want to hold that back until you do a release?
I mean, for me, I feel like playing it in front of a live audience is a way to pressure test that the song is actually done before you go into the studio. Like, I have this thing with the studio where it's like so, like, finite in a way, right? It's like once you put it onto tape, it literally is there forever. And so for us, like, I think we'll play stuff in the practice space, and then we want to play it out in front of people just to kind of, measure reactions. We usually tinker. And then when we're about to go in the studio, there's this like flurry of like, oh, wait, okay, I've never liked this exactly the way it is. Let's, it's like there's this like flurry of last minute changes as because you realize that there's this pressure to like not go into something that you're like, I didn't really like that, I didn't really like that change, or I didn't really like that part, or whatever it is. So, by the time you get to the studio, I feel like you're, it's like, I mean, it's the irony is that by the time you get into the studio, you're kind of sick of the songs, it's like you're ready to move on to the next recording.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing too, right? You want to, it keeps it fresh keeps you fresh, like going back to the, I like that. And so with this one, I want to talk first off, before we get into the actual EP, I just want to go, you want to get into it right now?
No, before, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Before we get into like, how do you guys feel about how you promote your music, get your music out there? Like nowadays, like I don't want to say it's oversaturated, right? I don't ever want to, but I don't want to say I want to put a cap on people creating shit either, though. Maybe there should be a better way to vet what goes out or what comes in. And now we have AI bands that are going,
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah. So how do you kind of navigate this now?
Daniel, do you have a snappy response to that?
I mean, I could. It's a fascinating topic, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, AI bands is a thing that I'm like terrified about, right? It's just like, what I like about music, what draws me to music in the first place is this, it's like this distinctly human thing. And so the idea that you can algorithmize that and like turn out songs that you think people are going to want to hear, it's like, what's the point? What is the fucking point, right? So like that kind of freaks me out. The landscape itself and like promoting, like I don't think we've really figured out how to promote. It's like social media moves really fast. You need to just kind of put your stuff out there and cross your fingers and kind of hope that people
it hops in an algorithm,
that it enters a playlist somewhere, that it enters the algorithm of it all.
Yeah, and we do a lot of the kind of old-fashioned stuff, like getting the files and the one sheet out to every radio station and every like streaming platform and every podcast. I mean, here we are talking to you, but yeah, like Daniel was saying, like weirdly, like when we see like we'll get like weekly reports from our digital distributor, and it'll be like, oh, like you got this big bump, and then if we do the research, it's like, oh, it's because we were added to some popular person's playlist that they just created. You know what I mean? So it'll be like an influencer has a Spotify playlist and they add us to it, and suddenly, and I have no idea how to tap into that, or I have no idea how to like specifically target that and be like, hey, like influencers, like, consider this EP, like I don't know how to play that game. It's bullshit to me.
Yeah, I don't even like. I know that's a thing. I know the playlist thing.
Yeah.
Sharing a playlist, is a thing, and like I don't have so. Well, I don't have Spotify anymore. Not for no reason other than I just wasn't using it because I buy albums on Bandcamp, and I just listen to albums on Bandcamp. You know what I mean?
You're one of the good people then.
Yeah.
So like, but like, I mean, I wouldn't like if I, you know, but I just didn't. I was like, why am I even spending? I hadn't opened it in like months, and I'm like, just get rid of it, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I know, like,
that's great. Like Bandcamp, they put a lot of effort into kind of an editorial function where it's like they can actually find you with like things that you might like, and I think that, you know, the missing link for me is like when you go all the way back to radio, you know, you had all these like indie stations who had, you know, program directors that you could send stuff to, and if they liked it, they would play it. That was literally what it was. And of course there was all this like corruption around like, you know, choices that those people could make, but as everything got consolidated, like, you know, your gatekeepers are they're inaccessible, you know, and then even now, like we're talking about like influencers, like I don't know how to
Exactly.
send a thing to some like you know, it's like they just have to stumble across it on the internet, you know, and that's like, you know, you basically just put stuff out there, cross your fingers and hope, and it's not, it feels really random, you know, in terms of like what people find or don't find. And I'm sure there's something to it that we're missing, you know, either it's just like we're on the outside, we don't know who the people are.
yeah, it's an age thing, I'm sure. Like, you know, I don't know.
It's like, and also like shit moves stuff. It's like SEO. It's like you figure out how to target SEO and like get good results, and like it changes like on a weekly basis. So like, you know, if you have a good strategy for July 12th, 2025, like that's not necessarily going to be a good strategy on July 17th, 2025. Like it's so fucking fast these days.
Yeah, and I don't even understand. So I learned web design in like 1997.
Oh boy.
You know, and then from there I went to school, like I took like HTML and some other classes when I was like 19, and then I tried to stay up on it, and then I just lost it because I couldn't get a job doing it, and then all of a sudden now it's like, it's so building the website for the podcast, like I'm like, well, it seems like it's easier now than it was before because everything's kind of like it's just plug and play. But like, I want to dive into like the other stuff. I have no idea the SEO thing. I have no idea about it. I don't know how to do it. All I know is I put out enough shit every week that it seems like if you do a Google search, I'm in the top for my thing, right?
Hey, success.
So, but yeah, it's tough, man. It's and I think about that, like. I mean, all right, so I'm going to try to think back here to the first time you guys were on. I think, Daniel, you said you work in like a video game kind of world, right? And you guys were in Rock Band, right? Right. So, like, I think of that, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's how many people, you know, millions of people that played that game, like, you got exposure that way. And do people see that and then go, oh, let me go listen to their stuff now? You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a thing. Like because I remember I used to make my kid's sister. My siblings are like super way younger than me, and like I remember I'd make her. She was really good at that Guitar Hero, and I'm like, hey, I want to hear this Black Sabbath song. Here, play it. You know what I mean? play it for me, because like it was just fun to watch her play it, and like because I couldn't do that, I'm like, you know.
I mean, I think the thing with those games is that even if you're not a music fan, you can play these games and you develop a relationship to the music as a function of the gameplay, right? And that's like super powerful. And then all of a sudden, you know these songs super well. And so, you know, it's like when we're building the soundtrack for whatever, you know, it's like we're trying to walk that balance between sort of loading it up with things that we know you're going to know, right? It's got to have the Ramones on it. It's got to have like whatever. And then also filling it out with all the stuff that you probably don't know, but you might love, you know? And like, you know, we had this opportunity just because of the way that, the way things worked, the people on the team, et cetera, to go pretty deep in the Boston music scene. And, you know, that was true for Guitar Hero 1 and Guitar Hero 2 was true for the first two Rock Bands, you know, and it's a little different now because almost all of your music in video games is basically like stream downloads, not like the concept of a soundtrack is like sort of obsolete in the context of most music games. But that doesn't mean, we're not kind of approaching it in a similar way. So I work for Epic Games now. I work on, there's a music game in Fortnite called Fortnite Festival that, nice. is basically a thing that I work on with a lot of the old Harmonix staff. A lot of us are there together. And, obviously really different culture, really different technology, really different, just like content strategy, but ultimately the goal is the same, right? Which is like, lure you in with some of the biggest names in music and then like serve you up some stuff that you might just like fall in love with. And that's, that's awesome.
That's like that's like what a playlist is now, right? Kind of, yeah. Everyone always talks about like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, and
which
and
was
the music.
It did the same thing, right? It's like you are skating, and like all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, this soundtrack fucking rules.
Yeah. So I'm old. And I had a video game console called the 3DO, a Panasonic 3DO, and this thing was way overpriced. But like I remember some like when people talk about like learning about music through like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, like some of those 3DO games, I learned about like Soundgarden early on because of that, and like White Zombie and like all these other, like they had some sick metal bands on some of those games, and like that was just like, and I used to play them. Honestly, I would play them to listen to it. Right, I'd play Road Rash so I could hear like all of those songs from fucking Soundgarden that were on there and shit like that, So so there's still like a connection to it, and I think there's got to be with the playlists, right? Or do you think it's just so random now?
I don't know. I mean, all right. So I think about the way that people listen to music in sort of two big different buckets, right? There's people who are lean back, like you're at the gym and you just want something sort of ephemeral and you're not really paying attention. It could be anything. And then there are lean forward people where it's like I want to know who this band is. I'm listening to the lyrics. I'm thinking about the production. I'm thinking about all the stuff. And my impression is that a lot of popular music, a lot of the playlists that you're listening to are designed specifically for the lean back, right? You're like driving, you're at a fucking coffee shop, you're like, it's more just like background noise while you're doing your thing. And I don't love that because I think in the digital framework, like I want more tools. Like I love, it's like I like Spotify. I like a lot of the like ways in which it can introduce me to stuff, right? I love my Discover Weekly playlist and all that kind of stuff. But like,
I don't love it how it doesn't pay artists.
I don't love that either. I'm talking about just pure consumer, like as a, it's like, how am I? I've discovered bands that whatever. As a person who's been a music lover since I was like 13 or 14 years old. Like how did I not know Hot Snakes, right? How did I not know like whatever? It's just I didn't have a friend who like thought I would like that and introduced me to it. And like Spotify was like, "Oh, you listen to Swingin' Utters, you listen to Metallica, you're going to like this band." And they were right, and the algorithm I think is really good at that. But again, it's like I'm a weirdo in the context of streaming music, and I think most of the folks that I know who are like thinking about lean forward music, who really want to know, are buying vinyl. They are going to shows. They are interacting with stuff that they already know, and then like occasionally seeing an opener or some other thing where it's like, oh, that was great. I should buy that record.
I know year 2 of the podcast relaunch, I made a mixtape, like an actual,
like a tape.
Yeah, I made 3 of them, and I intertwined like some of their interviews of whoever the artist was before we got into their song that they let me play on it, and it was for a charity, and like I was like, man, this is a good idea. But like, it's cassette tapes. No one listens to cassette tapes, and I know how Chris feels about them, so I don't want to get in. I don't want to get into the cassette tape thing too.
Because that's at a moment. I mean, like they came back a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and they're more like, I feel like I look at those more as art pieces than anything.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
If I
think that's correct.
So I mean, I've got a closet full that I have to go through, but I won't throw them away. I can't throw them away because it's art. So like they just have to stay in the closet, But like I think the playlist thing's a great idea as long as it's getting to the right way. And I will say this, like what Bandcamp just recently released, like shareable playlists, which I think is going to be huge for people. Because I mean, I get every once in a while I get something called a virtual fist bump, which means someone went onto my Bandcamp, like my library, found something and bought it. So I always think that's cool. Like, so somebody, like, someone's actually going through finding stuff like, hey, what's this guy listening to? Because they follow me or whatever. And you know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah.
So I think a playlist on there will, like, a shareable one is going to do well for what we're talking about too. So
I agree 100%. It's funny. I think there's a step missing though, and maybe this is just like me being like old guy, but like making a mixtape, I feel like people think about sequencing and they sort of obsess about what goes on it, because you're sitting there and it, like, there's a time commitment. You actually are like listening to it as you make it, etc. Right? And there's something about the just like drag and drop on a list that feels like, I don't know. It's like so easy to do that you aren't putting the same element of thought into the details, and I don't know. I mean, it's like it's another one of these, like, okay, if you're like, I don't want to be like old guy who's like, it's too easy and like kids aren't like putting the time into it and so they suck.
I'll do that.
They kind of suck because like they're not sweating the details, and it's just like, I'm going to make a playlist that has every David Bowie song in it that he ever made, and it's going to take me literally 8 minutes to do that.
And all you got to do is hit randomize.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's not a playlist, So like, I think there's an art,
like DJ your event, and all they do is like plug in their laptop and press play on. It's like, okay, like,
which is fine as long as the sequence is good,
Yeah. I know. When I had Spotify, actually before I had Spotify, I had, what was it? What was the Google one? Google Play, and they went away. They were like, no one uses this but you, so we're gonna get rid of it. So, so like I went to Spotify and I liked the shareable playlist thing. So I tried to get my playlist. Like it was like 4 decades of punk rock. Like it went back as far as Death, and it was as new as whatever's coming out now with and it has a lot of like big stuff in there, but I made sure like my duck and cover bands were in there. You know what I mean? Like all like my Boston bands that I love so much were in there, but like I think what I do too is like with the struggling artists is like we have a little on the Patreon, we have like a little radio show we do every once in a while, and like I'll make sure my playlists are like, you're right, I dig into how I'm like, what's gonna be next, why, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll do blocks of like, all right, this whole block is from like this part of the country, or this whole, I'm always constantly doing something different, and sometimes when I put it on, I'm like, nope, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to move this song up to here, and like but I'm a crazy old man, and that's what I do.
Oh, you care. That's the thing that makes it cool. Like you're putting thought into it. Like it's not something that you're just doing absentmindedly. Like, and that's what's awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, but let's change gears. Let's get into Duck and Cover EP. Yeah, I love the title.
Yeah, right. It's kind of descriptive.
Yeah. As we talked about, these are songs you've written basically within the last year and a half or so, we'll say. And I mean, and you guys have been playing these out and everything. I gotta say, like, I'm not, you both know I'm not a musician or by any means, but like, I will say, like, I'm starting to like hear things now when I listen to stuff. I'm like, I want to say the bass on this is really like incredible.
Yeah, like Mike. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't know if we talked about this last time or the previous, like Mike is very new to playing bass. Like he's a great rhythm guitarist, but like whereas me and Daniel and Damien have been playing shows since we were teenagers, I don't think Mike played his first show till he was like 30 or so. And that was playing guitar, and he only started playing bass when he joined this band. And so like this is all kind of relatively new to him, and like he really fucking worked his ass off and like really put in the hours and really stepped up, and like I 100% agree with you. Like he came like no fucking around. Like he delivered and like put in a lot of work, and I mean, it sounds condescending, and I don't mean it to be. Like, I'm super proud of him. Like, he did a fucking great job.
No, I mean, it sticks out on this one.
The guy who recorded us, Ethan, like, we spent a decent amount of time getting sounds, and probably the most getting sounds for drums and bass, and yeah, man, like, he got a really, like, growly, gnarly, like ugly but in an awesome way bass sound. And it's just like it's big and it's throaty and it's fucking scary, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean all around the songs are super well written on here, but I gotta say, like, Bad Blood, that song, like, oh my god, like when I heard it for the first time, I was driving and I was like, whoa, and I started it, like I got like, I don't know, a minute in, and I started it over again. I'm like, I need to listen to this again. So it has like this borderline like Children of the Grave bass line in the beginning, and then you just dismantle it into this punk rock like version of it. It blew my mind. Like I would call that song like dirty punk, like dirty rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like that song.
That's one of my two favorite songs on the EP, and like. I'm gonna stop yapping and let Daniel talk, but because there's a lot that Daniel can add to this. So like again, when I was back at his house recovering from being a gimpy, broken person, I wrote the kind of like the part that I think you just referred to as like the sort of like punk rock, you know, like the main riff and like the verse and the chorus. And I was thinking like with a mind towards almost like a White Stripes-ish type thing. Like I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a kind of garagey, real stripped down, bare bones thing, and we were playing that, and we had played it out a couple times, and it was fine, and it was good. And Daniel mentioned earlier that like it is a thing that we tend to do. It happens with the lyrics, it happens with arrangements. It definitely happened with this song. Literally the fucking practice before. So like we started recording on Saturday. This is like Thursday, and it's like okay, like we ran through the 5 we were gonna do. It's like all right, let's go. And then Daniel's like, actually, I have this idea for Bad Blood. And so the intro that you were referring to as being kind of like Sabbathy, and the outro,
yes,
that's all Daniel, and it didn't exist before, like literally 2 days before we recorded.
It's funny. It's like one of these things where like the song is like click, 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 and I was like,
and then Daniel's like, I have an idea. Why don't we
something in the beginning? I want to, you know, it's like let's like do something that sort of like builds a little bit of dynamic, tension, and then boom, releases with the riff, you know, and it came together super quickly. It's funny because Damien also is like, I mean, he runs a little conservative, you know. He doesn't want to change things up before shows. He doesn't want to change things up before, you know. It's like we're trying to go into the studio prepared, you know, and the idea that we're adding some new thing at the midnight hour. He's going to be the person that's like, no, I'm not hearing this. I don't want to rewrite my part, whatever. And the fact that he was able to like hear this and be like, oh, I get it. Boom, here's my part. Yep. Boom, and everything just like snapped together really organically and really quickly.
Yeah, I love that song.
You know, it was a sign that to me that's like, okay, wait, I think we're doing the right thing here.
That's awesome how he worked that in, like the intro and the outro last, like that.
Yeah,
that blows my mind even more with that song. That song, like I was like, holy shit, like I was talking to Mark Lind and I mentioned that song to him. I'm like, this song is crazy. Like, I know I think I had just seen, he had a post about you guys up and I just was like, oh man, I just heard this song. Like, you gotta, it was really good, man. The whole thing is great. Bored in the City was another one I just really dug my feet into. Like, I really, really liked that one a lot. I just like, yeah, I mean, you guys, you guys are professionals. You guys have been doing this long enough. Like, you're always, what you guys put together and the dynamic of the band and how you guys work is top notch. And I just, my hat's off to you.
Thank you.
But I couldn't go without saying, like, I mean, we could talk about every song, but like Bad Blood, I had to kind of interject.
I'm really glad you did, because that is, like I say, one of my two favorites of the. I mean, I'm really, Daniel mentioned it earlier. Like, I'm really very pleased with this collection because of for example, like when we were talking last summer about that split. I like the two songs that we contributed to that split a lot, and I think that Dave Manahan did a great job recording it. But I've said this a bunch to Daniel, but the first time that I was here at my house listening to the master, the master mix and the masters of those two songs with Damien, and they finished. We were like, that sounds fucking amazing. It doesn't sound anything like us. Like, it's so pristine and so heavily cleaned up, and it's like, as I was saying earlier, I think before we started recording, it's like if I sing a fucking, if I'm flat, I'm flat. If Daniel flubs the solo a bit, he flubs the solo. Like, and we were real purposeful in trying to capture that reality and that sort of like earnestness this time around. We were just like, no, like I want to get something that sounds like us, so that when you go see us live, hopefully you do, you're not like, huh, the recording sounded like, a really, really tight and put together Blink-182 track, and these guys sound like a fucking mess. It's like, yeah, we're a fucking mess. Like, we're a lovable mess. Like, I mean, the Replacements were a mess. Fucking Joan Jett is a fucking mess. And, like, I love those bands, and, like, let's have something that sounds like us. And this really does sound like us, and this really also, like, I mean, we're talking about Bad Blood, but you mentioned Bored in the City. Like, for the longest time, Bored in the City, of all the 5 songs, it's super collaborative. Daniel is obviously, like, a main architect of everything. But Bored in the City was kind of the outlier. It's like, I wrote it, and it's like, yeah, this is pretty much what I wrote. And then Damien's like, yeah, you know what, for the bridge, like, let's do this. And then Daniel added his thing, and suddenly it's like, all right, now this is like a fucking... And, like, all 5 of these songs, it's like, it's everybody all over the place, and it's great. Like, and again, like, Mike stepped up. Daniel's like the man. Like, this is like, I'm probably happier with this collection than any other.
Yeah.
I mean, like we bicker and we fight, like me and Daniel, and like, but beneath it all, like, we really fucking hate each other, and I think you can tell.
I think, I mean, to me, the reason I do this, the reason I am attracted to being in a band in the first place is, there's a relationship with the other dudes in the band, and when we are kind of really tuned in and thinking about what the song wants and kind of listening to each other in that way, like, it's really satisfying and it's really fun. And I feel like all 5 of these songs were born out of that process, and we've had other songs, other sessions, just based on the time of our lives, where it's like, the end result sounds remarkably like the demo, and I think in all 5 of these ones, like, they don't, and I think that's a function of the amount of collaborative energy, that goes in, and everybody sort of showing up to practice with ideas and, being able to kind of, I mean, it's hard, right? Because a lot of times if I'm trying to add something, that can be perceived as like me telling Chris that I don't like his idea, and that's not where I'm coming from.
Yes, it is.
But sometimes it sounds that way, and, and I think, and sometimes Chris can take it that way, and sometimes, sometimes it's like, sometimes I deliver it that way, but really at the end of the day, we're all like, it's like, I think being in a band is most fun when everybody's contributing to the creative process, and we're all listening to each other and working together to make awesome stuff. And
100%. Yeah, I love it.
What do you guys? Do you guys practice every week? Is it bi-weekly, like, or is it whenever you can because of whatever reason? You know what I mean? Like, because let's face it, like life gets busy. The older we get, the busier it gets.
Yeah, theoretically it's every week, but like often, like another good thing about recording is like if we don't have a show coming up, or better put, if we don't have a big show coming up, like when we have a recording or a big show coming up, then suddenly everybody makes it a priority. If it's just like, we don't have a show for a month, or like the show is with like friends of ours, not that doesn't matter, then it's like, oh, I'm feeling sick. Oh, like my kid is, colicky or whatever, or like I don't want to drive far. And so like people bail for like, and I'm not saying those aren't real reasons, like they're reasons. But yeah, like that's another fun thing about ramping up to the recording is like everybody showed up for like, the 4 practices prior to the recording. And we had really good luck in that right in the middle of that prep for the recording, we had a pretty, for us, big show. We opened for the Bad Nerves at Brighton Music Hall. And like, I mean, the crowd was a big reason why that was a fun show and why that was, in my mind, a successful show. But we were also fucking, like, we were about as tight as we are going to be. And that was because we had, it's like this is what happens, boys, when we show up to practice every week, like let this be a lesson to everyone.
I mean, just speaking personally, like, I like having something to work towards.
Yeah.
And if we don't have a show or a recording, like, I don't know, just like showing up once a week to run a set that is like, it's not as rewarding for me. And, so like, I think the trick for us, or at least for me, is to like have new songs to work on, to like set the recording date, to like, to have some things that we're working on. And if we don't have shit, we can cancel because we're all busy. And it doesn't fucking matter, right? So like, I don't know that I'm not a big fan of the like show up every week to practice regardless of what's going on.
No. I might have misrepresented. Like, I mean, like you kind of touched upon. See, Trev, you're living an argument right now. Lucky you. Like my argument is that there's always new stuff to work on. So it's like, okay, we don't have a show till late September. So fucking what? Like I have 4 song ideas. Let's show up and fucking work on them.
Okay, what are those 4 songs? How come I haven't heard them?
I've sent them to you.
Oh no, I didn't mean this. So, you guys, did you guys like kind of ramp up with show playing over the last year, or is it about the same? Or
I mean, not necessarily intentionally. Like we did have kind of a flurry of activity for us. I mean, in like the. Yeah, I guess like it's kind of cooled off a bit. We had a show that was going to be next weekend, but the venue in Salem now. Remember that, Daniel? That was going to be with Daughter of the Vine.
That was last week, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and like the venue no longer like it was like okay, that's our next show, and then the venue's like, yeah, we're not doing live music anymore. It's like oh
man,
there was like a licensee weird issue with BMI. But I don't know. I feel like
we had a busy spring.
I think we want to play, 7 to 10 shows a year.
I think we want to play good shows a year. I don't care if it's 7, 2, or 20. Like I want to cherry pick.
I don't want to play
right ones.
2 years. We can't play 20 shows a year. That's crazy.
I'll go for a 20-date tour with the others. Are you kidding?
Okay.
It'll just be me opening the set.
I mean, it will be because everybody else.
Oh, Mike would do it in a fucking heartbeat. Damien would do it. We'll just do it as a 3-piece.
All right.
Oh no!
I see, yeah, I know. See what's happening now? I'm not even in the band by the end of the podcast. It's just
so I want to ask this: when it comes to getting your music to get up on these services, right?
Yeah.
Like to Spotify and everything. It's like there's like one you put it one place and they distribute it, right?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So do they not work with Bandcamp? The reason why I ask this is because more times than not, something's missing on Bandcamp that I want to listen. Yeah, like the EP. I only have the single. It's still It says released on July 3rd, but I only have the single on there. So
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I can't purchase it yet. I guess I just want to give you some money. So
No, I mean, thank you. That's good to know. I'm addressing that right now.
yeah, so I think that's I feel like I try to tell people all the time, like sometimes if I'm on like threads for the podcast or the record club and people were like, "Oh, should I put my music on Spotify or Bandcamp?" And I'm like, well, unless you really like Fractions, I would go with Bandcamp because you're gonna get a little bit more, you know. Now you're I would put them both places because you're gonna get a farther reach with one than you are the other, but the other one you're gonna make more money on. So yeah. So like I'm always saying that, but I don't think a lot of those like distributors work with Bandcamp.
No, you're 100% right. It's the distributor stuff, you know, whether it's BMI or Orchard, we're with the Orchard now. Yeah, they just go to like Tidal and Apple and Spotify. Bandcamp, but like in the same way that Bandcamp is, as Daniel was talking about earlier, like I mean, Bandcamp is awesome for bands. It's also like for bands. It's like if you want to, or artists rather. It's like you know like things like digital distributors or labels. Like it's not, you know, like they're not a player in that realm. It's like you got to do this yourself, and apparently I did not do a good job getting the
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out.
No, I'm so glad you told me. I had no fucking idea.
So when you guys went to record this, like, was it 1 day? Was it 3 days? Was it 6 days?
We did it real quick. We recorded everything in, what would you say, Daniel, 1.5 days? Well, no, we recorded and mixed everything in, 3 days, I guess. Yeah. 3 days.
But, a couple of like pickup sessions on the mix, but yeah, it was basically we banged it out over a weekend.
Yeah.
Does each of you go in and do your part, or like would you play together at all?
Play together, absolutely.
Oh wow, okay.
That's important.
I feel like that's not always the case these days.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah. So you guys need that works for you though, just to get in there,
I think it's important,
and then just
like,
fix whatever, right? If you have something to fix, like the person fixes that one part, or
you can do that. Yeah, you can punch in. You know, like
it's funny. I think for us, there's this is another thing that we were sort of adamant about for this session is that we did not want to play to a click track, you know, and one of the things that a click track really makes easier is the sort of overdubbing and kind of punch in, punch out, because you have a really sort of, standard clock behind you. And we didn't, these songs especially, they're not just a fixed tempo. There is some breath. That's by design. And so we didn't want to set up a like super complicated tempo map, and we didn't want to play to a click, which meant that like, we really wanted to get the fundamentals down, the bass drums, the scratch guitars in one take together, and then you can sort of like layer in and kind of sweeten as you go. But it's much easier to play along with the full band than just sort of like, oh, it's just drums and now I'm trying to like find the tempo, find the pocket, it's much harder. So yeah, we wanted this to have more of like a live feel to it, and
I like that. Yeah,
and that's a function of us kind of being in the room together and playing it.
Yeah,
yeah. I it's funny because I went to like I've recorded stuff in my little home studio for ads and stuff for people like that, but like I'm working on a project of my own of like a collection of essays, and I'm doing like an audiobook for it, and like
essays that you wrote.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
And I was so nervous. Like, it was crazy. I'm like, come on. I've actually, like, demoed these, and they sounded better than some of the ones that came out because of me. Like, it wasn't anything to do with, Ken was great. Like, he was like, do that one again. Like, he was really good at telling me, like, giving me direction and everything. And, like, but some of them came out a little bit too fast, I think. So, like, seeing just how one person doing a vocal thing, like how long it took us that first day, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, like,
yeah.
So to get in there and like be able to bang that out in essentially a day and a half to 3 daes with everything or whatever. 2 days you said?
Well, I mean, so like the first day is half of it, more than half of it is getting sounds, getting, like the drums and the bass took a long time. Guitars took less because me and Daniel are fucking pros and those kids are idiots. And then we recorded most of it on the second day. And then third day was him. I think I overdubbed one thing that I had fucked up. I just made fun of that, and it turns out that I fucked up. But then after that, it was just him getting roughs. And so we were only there, like on Monday, we were only there till like noon. And then me and Daniel and Damien went and got pizza and roast beef, and we had rough mixes. And I walked around Somerville listening to the roughs for like 4 hours because I'm obsessed with myself and things that I create, and it was really fun. And then he mixed, Ethan mixed off and on throughout the next week or two. So yeah, again, probably 3 days.
So you say obsessed, I say meticulous, you know?
No, it's total narcissism, dude. Absolute self-obsession. I'm like, look at what I did.
All right, so let's talk. So, we went over Bad Blood. We talked about Board in the City.
Yeah.
You gave us a little insight on No Hounds in the Cluster and how a riff hung with you for like 25 years. Let's talk about the last two. We have Burn the Ships, and the other one I don't have my glasses. I know it's like
Mephistopheles.
Thank you.
No, Daniel hates
It's a long-standing tradition that Chris has like a fucking Latin joke tucked
It's not
into it.
Latin. It's Greek.
Okay. Like an old world, like, you know.
So the idea, Trev, you've heard of
Rare
Mephistopheles, Mephistopheles, right? It's like the devil.
Yeah.
And the joke is like meth, like, you know, some meth head who you...
No, I got you. Yeah.
fucked, and there you go, Mephistopheles.
What do you know about Mephistopheles?
I just can't speak well. That's all.
Oh, no,
That's
it's a
all.
difficult world, like it's, and word. And as for the other one, since we're talking titles, Burn the Ships, famously, like it just happened recently, it was in the news, Cortez, when he came to the New World, to prevent any possibility of an uprising and a mutiny, he burned the ships so that his crew couldn't split. Mm-hmm. So that's the concept behind that very witty title. Thank you, Chris.
really nice job.
Right on. Now, listen, it's. I mean, like I said, every track is just solid, and it has everything you said. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that you guys played them together in the studio because, like, you have that vibe to it. You have that vibe to your band. That's just what you guys are. You know what I mean? I love that. And I want to say, going back to the very beginning when we were talking about bands evolving, right? I do think like these collection of songs is like, it's, you know, it is definitely duck and cover, but it is definitely like you're like you are evolving. You know what I'm saying? Like as musicians, as whatever, and you know your sound, and just to get that down is, I think, is huge.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice of you. Thanks.
I mean, that means a lot, right? And I think that's kind of, I think for us, there's an intentionality that sits in this recording, right? We were very deliberate about kind of where we went and kind of what our approach was going to be, and working with Ethan, like he totally got it, you know. And I mean, I have only great things to say about New Alliance as a room.
Yeah,
you know, it's,
well, and also
amazing. You know, it's like
Nick, like when Damien came over and like we had a fucking drunken hangout listening to the final results over and over. Like, great mastering job, dude. Like, Nick, hats off, man. Like, I mean, he like I feel like everybody, you know, starting with Mike through to Nick, everybody with the possible exception of me really stepped up and did an amazing job, and I'm really happy with it.
I think you did a good job too, Chris.
Oh, thanks.
You guys are great. I love having you. I hope we do this every year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, you know, talk to the dudes in my band. Like, let's get working on new songs, fellas.
Do you have new songs? Do you have
Yes.
ideas? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You demoed them already and everything?
I have sent demos to the folks in the band. The only person who responds is Mike, because Mike actually pays attention.
I gotcha.
No, I mean, well, I would love to like that might be like a cool kind of sort of like finish line to like present in front of all four of us. Be like, hey, like we have to aim to hopefully be on Trev's show every summer, so let's get our shit together and
Every summer.
Get at least 3 songs tapped out between now and April or something.
One day I'll have a film crew so we can just do it in person and have some beers or something while
That
we're
would
on
be
this,
be fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, cheers to you for picking up the mantle of the record club.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're at 2 years now.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really cool that you.
Thank you.
I mean, the fact that
Thank you.
obviously you and Mark are good pals and stuff, but I mean, like, when things went the way they went with State Line, like that was one thing I was like, shit, like, and you've done a great job.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, a couple people that I've met over the years that like they're members and like they're like, "You're doing good, man." They're like, I'm like, cool. Like,
Yeah,
one of them dubbed me the curator. Like I just I'll find it and bring it out, and he's got a label. That guy's got a label, and I've used his stuff once or twice. But like the fact that like, and he's when we were talking kind of about like oversaturation, he's someone that constantly like he's not shy about saying that it's oversaturation and things don't need to be on there that are on on Spotify and stuff.
All right,
so the fact that he told me I was doing all right, I'm like, all right, cool. If this guy is giving me props,
High praise.
I think I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned the post that this is apropos of not nothing, but mostly nothing. Like you mentioned Mark's post about the EP, and like, I don't know if like my parents have him on the payroll. I don't know if like I pulled a thorn from his paw like years ago and I forgot about it. Like, nobody in Boston has been more supportive of us since Jump. Like I like he's just been fucking awesome and just an amazing supporter from the beginning. We've gotten some early reviews and that's great, and like they've been positive, and we've gotten airplay, and that's fantastic. But like, I'm not on Facebook as often as I used to be, but like I hopped on and saw like, oh, you've been mentioned, and I read his post. I'm like, well, fucking Christ, like this is. I was aware of Ducky Boys. Like me and Daniel saw Dirty Water. That was another of Mark's bands, open for the Utters down in Providence a long time ago. Obviously know him, but I'm not like fast friends with him. So like, there's no real reason for him to be so generous with his assessments, and it's fucking awesome. So cheers to him. Well,
yeah. I mean, again, he's someone that's always been supporting everybody that's around, and I think like our relationship started like because I asked him on the podcast once, because the Ducky Boys were like probably the most influential band to me growing up. As I got a little older, like, so like it was just weird, and now we're friends, and it's like, this is bizarre, but but he is he's a lover of music, and I think and I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think kind of letting go of the whole selling music stuff, except for the label, and like through the powers of getting some sleep, he's got that fire to write songs again.
Yeah, the new stuff is fucking ace, right?
Yeah, so I mean, kudos to him. Again, I don't want to speak out of turn and say it was one reason or the other, but I just feel like he was able to kind of focus on things and try to put things in. And I think he was very open about having sleep issues, and now he doesn't, and it's pretty cool, so.
Yeah, I mean, another thing, between he and I is I think that even though I don't think his music necessarily, and I don't think Duck and Cover necessarily immediately reads as, oh, these guys love the Stones. Like, we both love the Stones, and I think it's like I see you, like I know what you're up to.
It's funny, every once in a while I'll get a notification that State Line Records is sending me a record, and I'm like, huh. And like it's been like sometimes I'll get like a Stones record.
Yeah, well.
He's like, I have 2 of these. I was like, oh, I can, you don't have to do that. Thank you.
Hey, you got good taste. You like the Stones and Duck and Cover.
Hell yeah. You guys have any shows coming up?
Actually, the next one that I'm aware of, I was on the drive back from. So Mike, our bassist, I told you earlier, Trev, his daughter, my goddaughter, is having her 6th birthday party today. I was racing back to make this thing, and I texted the person who put together. I'm sorry.
You could have told me. You could have told me, hey, it's going to be a little bit.
No, I didn't. I mean, I just lost track of time because they have a pool, and I'm like, I'm gonna be fucking in the pool.
Whenever there's water, you lose track of time real quick.
But I texted the person who put together this upcoming show, and I was like, hey, so I'm going on this podcast, Trev's Pod, and he's familiar with it. I was like, so I'll mention the show. He's like, you can't mention it until September 7th or something. So like,
okay. So
we had a show which got canceled. We already described why, the venue, but basically August is off for us, and then we have a show. I can say that it's in October, and I can say it's a fucking solid lineup, and it's gonna sell out. Like, I can't say I'll do it for me.
No, that was good.
There we go. Better right hand. It's gonna be big, and it's gonna be fucking awesome, and it's gonna be in October, and it's gonna be in Massachusetts. I can tell you that much.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
And you're gonna be on the guest list, and you're gonna show up.
I am. Yes. I have been. So all right. I won't say what I do for work. I never say what I do for work on here.
I already know.
I will.
I
know. But what I will say is I have a really wonky schedule.
I know.
And one of the things that happened at the end of last year was I went from one night shift to the other, and it just hasn't really worked out for me with shows. but I have hope, and I have vacation time.
Okay.
So
well,
I will go on vacation for Duck and Cover.
I will send you the details, and you will absolutely be guest listed, and you're welcome to crash in Winter Hill, or you can drive back to Dartmouth with Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel's like, no, you can't.
Let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah. And right on. All right. Well, I will. I'll be sure once I see the stuff out there for the show that I share it for you guys. Thank you again. It's always a pleasure to talk with the two of you. You guys make me laugh, and you guys make great music, and I'm happy that I'm able to help you guys try to get it out there to the people.
You're very helpful.
Really
Thank you so much, Trev.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Right on, and again, we'll do this again next year or whenever. If you if you guys get something out sooner, you know the door's open. So.
Awesome.
Word.
All right, and that's the show. I want to thank Chris and Daniel again for being today's guests on the Struggling Artist Podcast. In the show notes, you'll have links to Duck and Cover's social media, Duck and Cover's Bandcamp. Go check out their self-titled EP. It's so good. Yeah, I mean, stream it or whatever you kids do, but you should go buy it too on Bandcamp. Buy their EP on Bandcamp. I want to thank Chris Chavez, Jeff Bousquet, and Aria Rad for being part of the Struggling Artist team. Follow them on social media. Chris at 716 The Sound, Jeff at JRB Image, and Aria at Coffin_salesman. And while we're on this topic real quick, I know you probably heard the new ad already, but I want to reiterate what's going on. Aria gave me this idea, and we put it into light. If you are a band and you're going on tour, or if you are a band and you're putting on a show, or if you're just someone who's putting on an event and you wanted to get it somewhere where the algorithm isn't going to screw you up, head to the strugglingartistpodcast.com or podcasttsa.com. Click on submit an event and then put your stuff in there. And then it goes right to our calendar page, which you can also find in the heading of the podcast website and all that stuff. It took me 24 hours to get it. I worked at it for 24 hours with I think I had like a 4-hour nap in between it. And then I said, man, the mobile doesn't look that good. So I went to change something and screwed it all up and had to start all over. But another 24 hours later, we have it, and it's up and running now. Again, the strugglingartistpodcast.com. Click on submit event and post your shows. That way, they're somewhere where people can see them, and the algorithm isn't going to screw with you. I mean, post them in those places too, because more people see it, the better, right? To my dear friends in the band Loser Circle, thank you so much for being so kind to me and allowing me to use your song Great Illusion of Time off of your album Took Long Enough as the theme song to this podcast. And how can I forget Mark at State Line Records for supporting the podcast, being a sponsor of the show, and always always supporting what we're doing. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Head over to StatelineRecords.com and see what he has in stock. Grab a record. Patreon, folks, thank you so much for supporting us over there. Your contributions do not go unnoticed to help us with everything from gear for the podcast to putting on events. It is much appreciated. If you want to become a patron, actually, to tell you the truth, folks, we just had a show at the house, and some of the fundage from there goes to them. So I appreciate that. If you want to become a patron, head to patreon.com/podcast TSA. Patreon.com/podcast TSA. See what we have for the tiers. You get episodes early, you get uninterrupted episodes, and all that jazz. So again, head over to patreon.com/podcast TSA. I want to thank each and every person who listens to the podcast, shares us, tells somebody about us, reaches out, and all that jazz. If you want to reach out, if you want to email, right? If you want to bring it to electronic mail, you can go trev@thestrugglingartistpodcast.com. Hit me up. Tell me what's going on. If you prefer to use the phone, you can call or text the Struggling Artist Hotline, 774-570-1552. That is the number to get in touch with us. We will never call you back. I don't call people back ever, so I'm not going to call you back too on the other line. So 774-570-1552. Now it's time to get out of here. We have a song to play. I can't get enough of this song, to be honest with you, from the new Duck and Cover EP. The song is called Bad Blood. Until next week, take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you then.
It's hard to swallow.